I don't know about you, but I need this light. I need this light. I like light of all kinds. I think the lights in here are beautiful. I look up every Sunday and it makes me smile. I love the lights of this season. I love the lights yesterday at nighttime when the church did the Living Nativity and the town did the big parade and all the lights that were on the fire engines that came across and went around town. I love the big blow-up things that are lights as well as the little tiny displays. I love the places where there are neighborhoods and there are streets that just have lights and they're just trying to outdo each other, the kind of thing that you could look out from a satellite down and see it. And I like the single, elegant lights that go into a humble home. I love all of the different kinds of lights. But I need this light. I need that light that shines in the darkness that the darkness cannot overcome. I need this light through which all things came into being. I need this light through which life was the light of all people. I need that light that penetrates my soul when I am feeling the fog creep into my head. When I feel the fog or things begin to creep in or the darkness begin to fill me, instead of the light that I am offered that is written on my heart, I need that life when other things creep in so that that light can cut through that fog so I can see where to go, so that light can light my path so I can walk those steps, so that light can guide me safely home. Like a lighthouse does for people on the sea, cutting through the fog so people don't end up on the rocks sunk at the bottom of the ocean. For people who are lost and just trying to find their way without ending up in a dangerous situation, guiding them home. I need this light. See, that is the promise of Christmas. Now, there are 4 days of the year that are just about my 4 favorite days of the year. It begins with Thanksgiving and the 3 days thereafter. Now, I don't know if all of you still do Thanksgiving with your families, and if you do and you make that work, God bless you. We couldn't make it work, right? So it was just, we weren't at our best with our families weren't best with us, so we decided with a bunch of friends that we were going to get together and do Thanksgiving with friends, and it's worked much better, and it's been a beautiful thing, and so we just absolutely love Thanksgiving, whereas in the past we were kind of like, oh gosh, Thanksgiving's coming, what do we do with that? So now we just love Thanksgiving, but then the next day we go out on Friday, and Linda and Garrett and I go and we find a tree farm, and we go out and we cut a tree down, and then we bring it home, and then we bring it back, and then we cut it again, and Linda gets the base ready, and then we get some water. Linda gets some water ready with some sugar in it, and John DeHoyos, if that's not how I'm supposed to do it, you let me know, because that's how we've been doing it. You're the tree expert, and I am not. But we set it up on Friday, and it looks something like that, right? This is what it was like, not this past Friday, a week ago Friday. Then on Saturday, Linda and Garrett do all kinds of things to convert our home from its already existent beauty to kind of like this Christmas, just it becomes magic in our house. And my job during that time is to put the lights on the tree. And the lights on the tree takes a long time for me because I really love the lights. And by the time I'm done putting on the lights, there are 2,000 plus lights on that tree, right? And I want to make sure, because my dad taught me when I was younger, don't let the wires show. Right, so I spent a lot of time. This takes me like 4 hours. So we do this, and this is part of my favorite stage because I just love the lights. And I will sit down on the couch after I do this at night and just stay there and look at the tree. And you can ask Linda, and if you don't know who Linda's my wife, and she will text me and say, "Aren't you coming to bed?" And I'm like, "Oh, right, I forgot, I got to do that." And then the next day, we decorate the tree on Sunday evening. We put the ornaments on the tree, and then it just becomes this. And this is what it was a week ago Sunday. Right? So then Monday, and I just love it, and I look at it, it gives me peace. I will go down, and I will sit on the couch for extended periods of time. I'll do it in the morning, I will do it in the evening, and I will just sit with this because it gives me peace, and it gives me hope, and it energizes me, and I just adore it. It's some of my favorite time of my entire year. And I was sitting there Monday evening and looking at this gorgeous thing, and then I imperceptibly saw some movement. And I imagine, I was like, it seems like this thing is coming towards me. And then I saw that it was coming towards me, and before I could get out of the couch, I said, maybe I can become Superman and jump in the air, and I can have my feet up in the air, and I can hold this tree up and call Linda from upstairs and stop it from happening, but I couldn't, and I was too slow, and I was just getting out of the couch when water everywhere, quick pull the lights out as they're kind of getting ready to short out so nobody gets electrocuted, and pieces of ornaments shattered all over the ground. Now, for those of you who appreciate ornaments and like ornaments, like for me, the ornaments aren't just things that you put on a tree. What are ornaments for some of you? Memories, right? Memories. And so when these are shattered on the ground, I admit for a moment that I was paralyzed. I was paralyzed. Like Linda had to motivate me, and we had to get moving and doing stuff and get that. Linda had to snap me out of it. Because each of these things are memories, and some are memories from last year that we get an ornament, some are from 10 years ago, some are from generations ago. And I know, and I've had conversations with people, I know that those memories are still in my head. But those ornaments are touchstones to those memories. Things trigger memories. Sometimes it's the smell of something, like in the fall or the pine when we bring the tree in, but sometimes it's individual ornaments that are the touchstones to these memories, and so I need to find new memories, because the memories are there, but I need to find new ways to tap into those particular memories. And there were other things that were going on as well. One of our very, very, very close friends lost their mom this week. We had some really insane things happening in our family. Not Garrett, Linda, and myself, but in our extended family, just some really disturbing stuff. I won't get into the details. I want to betray my family's darkest secrets if they haven't given me permission to, but it was an ugly weekend. We have friends who were normally part of that Thanksgiving who were struggling for their lives. And I could feel from that crash, looking at that, and then all of a sudden thinking about the chaos that was going on in my family and the things that were going on with my friends, and I could feel it. I could feel the darkness creeping in. I could feel it starting to take over. I could feel my head starting to fog up. I could feel myself starting to feel something that wasn't the light of the season that I was feeling just half an hour before. And then I remembered the passage that we were doing for the first Sunday of Advent. I went and I grabbed my Bible, and I went to that passage, and I said, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. The true light which enlightens everyone. And I leaned into that light. I asked for that light to be made real. I let it in, and I believed in that promise of Christmas, and it worked. It worked. It punctured through that fog. It kept me from going to a place that I am capable of going when a certain series of things knock me off of my normal balance, and I can tend towards getting towards thinking all kinds of things, even if things are going well in my life, how sometimes it can just seem dark. Now, we've started to put things back together again a little bit, with some help from people here in the church, some who help us clean up, some who helped us put it back up. We put that back up. That's not even the final version of that. That's stand 3 of 4 that we had to go through before we finally got that to stand. There's a 4th stand that ultimately went in there, and then we trimmed the tree up a little bit because there are people far more skilled than me to do that, like John DeHoyos, who did that, and Dave Nail, who helped keep me from getting electrocuted in all of these things, and the kind of light that a community of faith can bring to each other when something goes wrong. And then I went back, and just a few days ago, put the lights back on that, and we're just continuing to decorate it now. Thank you, Del. My family, in a certain way, is still in chaos. That did not change. The mother of our friend has still passed, and we grieve with her. The challenges are still out there. There's still poverty in the world. There's still war in the world. There are still things that want to bring that darkness. When we say, hey, it's Christmas time, the world's supposed to be okay. The world's supposed to be fine, right? Why isn't the world this way? If Jesus came into the world so long ago, why isn't everything fine? Why isn't God making everything fine? That is not the promise of Christmas. And it's one of the things that can make it so difficult for us to enjoy the season because we think it's supposed to be good and we're supposed to be feeling great and we're supposed to be doing this. But I know this. I have my own stuff I'm dealing with. You have your own stuff that you're dealing with. And I don't know what it is, but I know you have it because I've talked to enough of you to know it's there and could probably speak to 80% of what those are, even just by talking to a few people, and know what is out there and know what you're concerned about, both your personal stuff and the stuff in the world. And it seems the disconnect between what is promised and what we have in this world and in our lives doesn't seem to sync. But everything going well is not the promise of Christmas. You see, in this passage, it doesn't say that the light shines and the darkness went away. It doesn't say that the light shined and the darkness went away. It says the light shines in the darkness and the darkness will not overcome it. It's that the darkness is going to continue to be there. The fog that you see in the world sometimes is going to continue to be there. The promise is that there is a light that will cut through that and allow you to continue forward so you don't hit the rocks and end up at the bottom of the ocean. The promise of Christmas is not that all the difficulty goes away. It is that there is a light to show you a path to walk through and in the midst of the darkness when you don't know how to get through it on your own. The promise of Christmas is that there is a light in the form of Jesus, in the form of the Spirit, in the form of God, in the form of whatever way you personally feel it, that when you are lost will guide you home as surely and more surely than that light guides the people on the sea home. The promise of Christmas isn't that everything is going to be okay and you don't need to pretend it is. And if it is, that is wonderful, and share in the joy. And I'm not trying to say that if you're feeling joyful that you shouldn't because of things that are going on in the world. No, I'm just saying that if you're feeling that way, that a lot of the times the feeling of that way comes because you think it should be something else, and it's not. The Bible doesn't promise that. It promises that you will always have that light available to you. You always have that light inside of you to trigger you. Then if you ask for that light will be there, not to eliminate the darkness, but to guide you through it. The promise of Christmas isn't the elimination of the darkness. The promise of Christmas is the light to guide you through the times when you are uncertain, to guide you through and give you a clear path to how to walk when it's difficult to even put one foot in front of the other. The light is there to keep you from falling all the way down to the bottom of the sea, and the light is there to guide you home. That is the promise of Christmas. And I love that light. I need that light. That is the light that is available to you. So look for it, accept it, take it into yourself, lean on it, open it up, and ask for it. Because that is the promise of Christmas.